Welcome, everyone. You're listening to the ImPerfect Podcast. I'm Kathy.
And I'm Kennedy. Join us on this week's episode as we discuss intriguing topics and people of interest that will inspire us to explore all of the unique pieces of ourselves.
We are all imperfectly perfect.
We're glad you're here. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the ImPerfect Podcast. On today's episode, we will be interviewing a real superstar. Linda, who is originally from Thunder Bay, Ontario, is now living in the Riverview, New Brunswick area, is a wife, a mom to 2 boys, and a kitty cat. She works as a technical writer and has many hobbies and interests such as yard sailing, watching game shows, and always looking for a hoot of a time.
Yeah, Linda has always had a positive attitude. She's enthusiastic. She has a great sense of humor. And not only can I call Linda one of my greatest friends, but she's always extended herself to help other people she doesn't even know. She also raises money and donations for giveaways that she organizes during the 5 holidays throughout the year. She's the administrator of a trade or donate organization called Mamas for Mamas, and she's also the founder of an online charity auction called the Riverview Good Deeds. Here's Linda.
Hey, Linda, what's up? What have you been up to?
Busy as usual. How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
So Linda, we kind of gave a bit of an outline of things that you're involved in, but maybe you want to elaborate a bit on that?
Well, I guess the biggest things I do right now is my giveaways. I've got 5 big ones I do a year where I help children, 300 to 500 every giveaway with it's Valentine's Day, Easter, school supplies, Halloween, and Christmas. And those are they get quite large and quite expensive. So with all my volunteering with that, I had to start an online auction to help pay for all of this because it's not cheap, even though I try and go to clearance sales at the end of the season on them. So I started an auction where people can donate items and I sell them and use those funds for the giveaways, or I have sellers as well. And then the commission again goes to the giveaways. So it's very labor intensive, fun, but busy time just to keep it going throughout the year because there's no real downtime, even though I try and pencil some in for myself.
Right. You're always busy.
I don't know how you get everything done that you do. Working and kids and, family, and then this on the side, always dressing up mannequins and fun stuff like that. So you talked about the giveaways. You do those through Mamas for Mamas. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a Facebook page that I joined just to help out and point people in the direction of where they could get help. And then eventually the admin left and I didn't want to see it end because people were getting help. So I just started I would start little giveaways. I was like, it was Easter, I believe, and people were asking for help. So I said, well, I'm going to make 10 baskets. And I said, I'll just randomly give it away. But the response I got was overwhelming. So I'd say I have 10 baskets, but I have 100 people respond.
Wow.
And then I thought, oh, I'm happy I did 10, but now I feel bad for the 90 that didn't get any. So I'm like, well, now next year I got to think bigger. And then, so it kind of snowballed from there, and then different holidays. And then that's how the auction came about, because the funds, I was using my own money and it got very expensive quite quickly. And so then I started to do that. So now I happily have enough funds to cover usually 300 to 500 children. And school supplies is probably the biggest one now in terms of costs, because it's hard to get discount backpacks and lunch bags and that. But the other holidays I can get discount chalk and bubbles and that sort of thing. So it's not as bad, but school supplies is a big one. And that need is great. And I feel that one's a big help to the community.
So the 300 to 500, is that at each holiday that you're assisting?
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. And then the back to school, I've seen some of the things that you do with that. You rely on some donations as well. That come into you. And so how many requests would you be getting yearly for those?
Yeah, that one I do more of a random draw because I have a set amount.
Okay.
And like the other holidays, if I'm near the end and I don't have enough, I will run to the store just to say that I did every child that I could. But the school supply one is overwhelming, and I can't give a brand new backpack to all the kids. So I
Right.
try and I collect yard sailing. I collect, the best quality that I can. And so I try and help as many people as I can. So that's always my goal. It's just unfortunate that I can't help everyone, even though I really try.
Well, you're definitely filling a need. And it's like you said, it seems that every year it grows, but you're only one person. So you need all kinds of help. But so you're also doing, maybe you can talk a bit about Riverview Good Deeds and how that kind of, did that stem from Mamas for Mamas, or what's that relation like?
Yeah, it really started. I actually started with my good friend Vanessa's auction. I was selling, she would let me put up some items on there to sell, and then I was using that money. And then it got overwhelming because I needed even more money.
Yeah.
So then she's like, well, maybe you should start your own. And I'm like, good idea. So we, Todd and I, we decided that, yeah, this is something we can do. And I really need Todd's help. He's my, number cruncher accountant, and he helps me out greatly.
And spreadsheet
And
guy, yeah.
yeah, yeah. And lifting, carrying, he helps
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
bagging, all that. So without him, it'd be hard. And then the kids too. I mean, the kids, they have to help,
Yeah.
especially with the giveaways and that there. So it's a really a family team effort, and I think it's a good lesson for the kids especially.
Of
Sure.
course, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a good excuse for you to go yard sailing anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seems that you do love yard sailing. So do you do that for fun mainly, or is it like kind of a combined effort of you're always looking for auction things as well, or?
It's definitely combined. So I look stuff for like the family. I even look gifts for Christmas,
Yeah.
because you can find a lot of brand new stuff there. Then I look for all my giveaways. And then I also look for the auction to resell. There's a lot of deals to be had. And if anybody, a lot of people ask me, like, can you keep an eye out for this while you're on your travels?
Right.
And someone says, I'm looking for this. And, sure enough, more times than not, I do find it. So
That's
it's
crazy.
yeah, it's a lot to keep in your head of what to look for, but you get good at it though.
Yeah. Well,
Every Saturday.
you're more organized than I would be in that situation. But it's like you said, Todd helps too. But yeah, you're always doing something. Mom and I were talking beforehand, and you always got your hands in something. And if you're not doing something with your personal giveaway, you're going to look for things for other people in the near future that that's going to be coming or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus other charities too. We do help other local charities. And some of them every holiday I help, and then other ones just like one time a year, or something comes up and it's a special request or something pops up and we help. So I try and help, different organizations wherever the need is. I'm happy to do that. Some people personally come to me and say, can you help out this cause? And it's sure. So having that auction and having, that ability to help when needed is an awesome feeling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what is it that keeps you going? Like you have so much energy, you working the full-time job and doing all that. I look at you and I think, like, how do you get it all done?
It's a labor of love, and it really I started volunteering as a teenager back in Thunder Bay, and sometimes on my own, sometimes with my friends, and a lot of it was kid related. I still have the t-shirts of all the festivals and stuff I volunteered at and kept them all. So it just, from back then, I just started like, oh, I enjoyed helping people and especially children. I'm like, that was my focus. And I did for many years until, life took over. And
Yeah.
then, you had to get the career going. You got the Todd going and the kids. So
The Todd going.
yeah. So it took a bit of a back seat for a bit, but then as when Riley was small, it really took off. But I would give like to Bryce's school like treats, like I would make my little cake pops and marshmallow pops, and like I would do that for them. Like my creative juices was always flowing, but at a smaller scale.
Right.
And then as the kids got older, then that's when I started to like, oh, I can really put more time. And after the kids don't need me as much anymore. So, when they go to bed and that, and, they're playing with their friends, I don't, they don't need me. So here I am, taking auction pictures, making treats, or doing whatever I have to do. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's you're not just filling a need, but you also find the things that are often little things that mean so much to people that are often forgotten. Like I'll come up to moms, and you're always good with this stuff. I'll come up to moms and mom will say, "Oh, by the way, I was with Linda the other day. We went for lunch, and here's your little Valentine's Day goodie bag."
I know
And
you're 25 now, but
But-
come on.
but that stuff means something to people, and you never miss a beat. I don't know how you do it, but you're pretty awesome. You're a superstar.
oh, thank you. It's I don't holidays are big for me, but I don't want to see kids left out, whether they need it or, it's neighbors or family, friends. It's just something I do. I don't expect anything in return. It's just I like to give, and that's pretty much it. There's no, ulterior motive, there's nothing. It's just something I've always been doing, and it's a creative outlook. Like my job, I find very static now, and there's not creative much going on there. So this is my outlet. And I always did like crafts when I was younger, even painting ceramics and different things. And then I got into the treats and doing stuff like that, and learning. Like I love Googling, right? Finding the new treat I can make. Now I have to replicate it 300 to 500 times with that. So you have to take that into consideration, what kind of fancy treats you're making. So
Yeah.
but it's a good
Yeah.
learning. So then I've learned a few new things that I never tried before, and it's fun. So that's my creative output. Like that's what I do, and I give it to others. Like my kids are tired of my treats, and they're like, okay, now time to give to somebody else that'll appreciate it.
Yeah.
So
We have a question here that says, what makes you feel most inspired or like you're being your best self? But I think you already covered that one for us just right
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
When people some people send me pictures of their kid like with their new backpack on going to the first day of school, that's sweet, or them opening up and they see it in their teddy bear or their treat bag. And all I need is a simple thank you. I don't ask for much. As long as people say thank you, I'm good to go. But those little extra ones, it really keeps you going.
Yeah. Yeah. So this could be in your personal life or having to do with the auctions or anything like that. Do you ever find that you're struggling, or what are some struggles that you go through? Or is it always hunky dory, rainbows and gumdrops?
I wish it was always hunky dory, but it gets stressful when it's time, right? Do I have enough time to get all this done? So I try and be as organized as possible. A lot of the headaches come from the amount of items I have to collect and store and keep that organized. And it can get overwhelming in the house. And we're trying to work on that with different methods. And especially the auction, a lot of donations, greatly appreciated. It seems to come all at once. And
Right.
I'm starting to learn how I got to do more donation albums and get stuff like in and out faster. And so that's really probably our biggest thing, is just organizing to get it all done in a timely fashion.
Yeah.
So I don't like to say no to people. That's one of my, I guess, it's hard for me to say no. It really is. So I want to say yes so I can keep it going and everybody's happy, and I'll get it done eventually. It just may not be as fast as I originally planned.
And you do everything there at the house.
Yeah, that's an extra benefit. Like, I'm still home with the kids, like anything pops up, I'm still here. That's why I like doing a lot of this stuff. It doesn't take me away for hours on end as well. And I can do it at night when everyone's sleeping, so it works out best for me.
Yeah. You've got so much collection in your garage, and then it's into your house and sorted, and then pictures, and then bagged, and and then your front porch is totally covered. Either it's for giveaways for Halloween, or it's come pick up your stuff from this week's auction. And yeah, you've definitely dedicated a lot of your time and personal space even in your house for that cause. That's great.
So, we have a couple different questions that might pick your brain a little bit. Some of them are a little thought provoking, but what's the most important thing you've learned in life, do you think?
Important. see, as you go through the years, different things become important.
Mhm.
I'm starting to learn how to say no. That's one. Like going with your gut is another one I'm starting to learn with,
That's a
and
big one.
ignoring what people say about you. That's a
Yeah.
tough one. No matter how good your intentions are, there's still people who will try and put you down for any number of reasons.
Right.
And I'm learning to let that go, because I know what I'm doing and not doing for that matter. So that's a big one.
Yeah, it's hard to avoid all the noise and hearing the terrible things that people love to say about others. And it's like you said, you know what you're doing and you know what you're not doing, and you're the only one that knows. So you've just gotta stick with your gut and go with it and ignore all the people. Because people, I can't remember the exact quote, but it's people are gonna say terrible things about you. So you might as well give them something good to talk about, or something to that effect. There's a quote
Right.
I've heard out there like that. Yeah.
So, Linda, here's the big question of the day. What makes you imperfect?
Perfect. I guess
In a perfect way, of
right.
course. Yeah.
I know it's saying yes all the time when I really should say no. Setting some boundaries. Taking a bit more time for myself.
Mhm.
Things I'm working on. Going through life and getting older, some of these things are coming a bit better to me. But being a people pleaser, it's really hard for me to say no, and I'm definitely working on that one. And Todd appreciates when I work on that.
Well, Mom and I think you're doing amazing things, hence why we wanted to have a little chat with you today. So we really appreciate you taking the time and out of your very busy schedule to talk to us, because you're filling a great need in just the community and beyond. And like you said, every year there's requests and people asking for help, and you're that person. So I'm sure not just us, we're very grateful for you, but so many people beyond. But as for people who may want to try to find you or help donate or want to be a part of your auction or anything of the sort, I know they can find you on Riverview Good Deeds on Facebook. But is there any other area that they can be looking, or other areas just locally that they can bring things to that would trickle down to you or to someone in need? Anything else you can think of beyond the Facebook page?
Yeah, Riverview Good Deeds. The Mamas for Mamas is the one where I do my big children's giveaways on Facebook there. So they can sign up anyway. And I don't qualify people either. So if you say, I want some for my kids, I say sure. So anybody can join. Yeah. And it's not only for women. That was a title I didn't come up with. Even men can join too.
Good to know. Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you so much again for having a chat with us today. And thank you again to the listeners for tuning in. And we will see you next Monday for our next episode.
Thanks for having me.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
If you or someone you know has a unique story to tell, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at theimperfectpodcast@outlook.com.
For more information and how to connect with us on social media, you can visit us at our website, theimperfectpodcast.ca.
And from whichever platform you are listening to this episode, be sure to like, share, and leave us a review. We would really appreciate your feedback. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode.
We look forward to hearing your feedback and seeing you all find that extra joy and embrace your own imperfect.
See you next week.